Welcome back, everyone. Well, more than 200 people around the world with a rare heart condition used an online chat room to find each other and swap survivor stories. And it's through that chat room they got the Mayo Clinic to take a closer look at their disease. Erica Edwards has more in your Healthline 11 report.
Good friends Laura and Catherine met online a few years ago, not because they had mutual Facebook friends, but because they both had a rare heart condition.
My husband dubbed us the dissection duo.
Their disease is called SCAD, in which the inner layer of the heart artery tears away from the outer wall. Most cases are fatal.
I remember lying on the cath table and the cardiologist looked like he was about to die.
They said it's very rare, you're lucky to have survived, you're very brave. And they didn't really have any other information to give me on it.
Laura and Catherine turned to the internet. The only resource available was an online chat group. After a few years, that chat room turned into the largest group of SCAD survivors ever identified. Laura and Catherine decided to bring the survivor stories to the attention of Dr. Sharon Hayes at the Mayo Clinic and push for more research.
And I had this patient coming and saying, and challenging and laying down the gauntlet, what are you doing? And I basically felt like I had to say, I'm going to do something about it.
Mayo Clinic designed a study, and Catherine and Laura led the recruiting process online.
This was truly patient-initiated research, where they came forward and got this research off the ground.
I just felt like this was my job, to get the research going and to see it through.
There's no shortage of participants.
We are finding more women joining our group of SCAD survivors every day, and we just keep pointing them to the studies that are ongoing right now and encouraging them to participate.
Turning an online chat group into a catalyst for new research. Erica Edwards, NBC News.
Now, the research has started to provide some answers. Doctors now know 70% of SCAD cases are in women. A third seem to be pregnancy-related. Now, more studies are planned to figure out if genetics play a role and to determine the best treatment.
Coming up on the evening edition, the Gadsden School Marching Band has done it again. We'll let you know where they'll be performing this time. Here's a hint. It's not in the U.S. And it's the main testing site for NASA's next spacecraft. It happens to be right here in the desert Southwest. News 11's John Archuleta gives us a closer look. Join us for these stories on the evening edition at 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific.
And still to come on the early edition, thinking of catching a movie out on DVD, we have you covered in this week's Video View.
And we talked a little bit about wind, very minutely, but we'll let you know when the chances of that are going to be coming back to the desert Southwest. That's coming up in the forecast right after this.
News 11 is brought to you in part by Scott's Roundup Extended Control.
Get to Nissan now for the offer you need on the Nissan you want. This is Nissan Now. Get special pricing across our lineup. Sedans, trucks and SUVs, crossovers. Now get 0% on popular models. Or up to $2,000 back on Sentra. Visit ChooseNissan.com or see your local Nissan dealer today. Event ends soon. Do it now.
Before our metal is tested, it's forged in flame. And few fires burn hotter than those that cast Hemi and Cummins engines. Proven power that burns deep, only in Ram trucks. Test our metal now at Ram Truck Month.
During Ram Truck Month, get 0% financing plus $1,750 total bonus cash on Ram.
Millions are still exposed to the dangers of secondhand smoke. And some of them can't do anything about it.
The Yuma Palms Regional Center is hosting the 6th Annual Village Jazz Series every Thursday evening. Come out and enjoy live entertainment in the Yuma Palms Village in front of Harkins Theater from 6 to 8 p.m. This week's performer is Yuma Area High Schools and Arizona Western College. Bring your own seating and enjoy live music and a night out under the stars. A $25 Yuma Palms gift card will be given away at every performance to those who purchase tickets to win a hand-painted Adirondack chair. Yuma Palms Regional Center, in the moment.
The News 11 Skycam is brought to you by Quishon Casino Resort and Paradise Casino, providing superior casino entertainment to Arizona, Southern California, and Northwest Mexico.
Well, it all started yesterday. If you've been outside today, you've noticed the wind blowing. I know it's been a little bit of a headache for me dealing with the wind. I'm not much of a fan. So.
Neither am I if I have lip gloss on. But I know that a few, some women can relate. I know a few of our fellow staffers here at KYMA were saying that it was a little bit hard for them to drive last night on I-8 because of the high winds. Is that something that's going to be sticking around, Rob?
No, not at all. Crosswinds, history, at least for the time being. We're going to have wind issues as we get on a Thursday and Friday again. Not likely as bad as what we experienced this last time. So, good news there. Well, let's take a look at Quishon and Paradise Casino's Sky Cam. You can see a nice, beautiful look from the Yuma perspective of the desert Southwest on this Tuesday afternoon going on into the evening. Here's some of the overnight totals we've seen as far as the winds are concerned, or rather felt. We've had wind gustage up to 32 miles an hour in Yuma, up in the high 30s in the Blythe area, and even more so in the Imperial Valley. No one stopped the 43-mile-per-hour charge of wind that we've had in the El Centro area. But since then, things have gradually died down, and as you can see, this number right here is a lot nicer than what we felt at this time yesterday in many areas of the desert Southwest. 62 is where we're sitting at right now in the Yuma area. We're talking 64 degrees in El Centro, and everything is looking pretty docile, I suppose, again, to what we felt just 24 hours ago. 64 is all we made it to today. 64 degrees in Yuma. And I repeat that because
it says 73.
Doesn't happen very often this time of year. 77 is where we're supposed to be as far as late February standards are concerned. We only hit 65 in El Centro. 45 degrees is where we dipped down to, and we're a far cry from a record of 91 degrees back in the 1980s. Well, beyond the desert Southwest, we're seeing high 50s in Vegas, Palm Springs in the low 60s, and Flagstaff below freezing at this time. They're in for a very nippy night if you think we're in for a nippy one in the desert Southwest. Well, beyond the desert Southwest and beyond the region, we're looking at temperatures across the nation. Not so bad. 40 over in Chicago, and over in the Pacific Northwest, we're talking 46 in Boise and 43 in Seattle. Now, your national satellite radar outlook, you know that system we experienced yesterday, it's worked its way into the Midwest, and it is bringing it on. Yeah, it already brought a tornado on in central Nebraska, and even blizzard warnings in effect in areas of the Dakotas, on into Minnesota. It could get pretty hairy over there. 6 to 10 inches of snow expected, and winds could be up to 40 miles an hour. It's not a picnic for those folks in that area. Over in the Pacific Northwest, we're seeing some rain and even some mountain snow work into the fray over in the coastal areas, western sections of Washington, as well as Oregon. Now, taking a wider perspective, what we're seeing in the Pacific Satellite Radar, we have kind of flattened the jet stream just a little bit. You do have a few disturbances, one that's past us and one that will eventually affect us, but in the meantime, we're going to keep it mild for the next few days, and this other disturbance, this guy's going to roll in by the time we get on into the next couple of days and generate some more wind for us. And then beyond that, as we get on into especially the second half of your weekend, you got the high pressure ridge that's building out in the Pacific. That will eventually affect us and bring us some warmth right back up there into the 80s. So enjoy the 60s while they last. And it won't be for very long. 44 is what we're expecting tonight in Yuma, lower 40s in El Centro. And looking ahead to tomorrow, we're already making a rise of it into the lower 70s throughout the desert Southwest. And we're talking mid-70s to eventually higher 70s. And then, of course, by the second half of your weekend, as you go out and enjoy the midnight at the Oasis, it is going to get warmer throughout the weekend. But nonetheless, things should be nice for the weekend, but at least to start off, it will be breezy as you hit the midnight of the Oasis Trail come Friday. And we'll certainly look forward to covering that. We'll be out there. Well, here's what's going on as far as your... Well, I think that's it. Yeah, we got the 8th day, and I jump in the track a little bit. Get your weather pick come up at 6 o'clock.
All right, thank you so much, Rob. We'll be right back right after this. Stay with us.